You'd think a neighbor would be loving on his neighbor and come help. How come you ain't saying nothing? Can you hear me? I don't think I can go like I used to, man. It's kicking my butt. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. And it's late in the afternoon. Been out here all day long, grading, moving dirt around, bringing dirt in, getting things fine graded. I guess I call it a step one fine grade, meaning I'm going to install irrigation out here. Actually, I'm putting two systems in, and I'll explain that in a little bit. But I am putting irrigation out here, and I don't like to put irrigation in and then do the grade work. I like to come out and grade the area and really get it slicked down, flattened out, smooth for mowing, and then go back and install the irrigation. The reason for that is, you'll have undulation and humps and bumps, and what if a head ends up being on a bump? Or what if a head ends up being in a low spot? Once you put the head in, you can't, let's just say it's in a low spot and you put the head in, you can't put dirt over top of it and grade it. So that's why I prefer to grade it out first, then install the irrigation, and then I'll go back, fill in the ditches, and then kind of slick it down and pack the ditch lines and that kind of thing. For me, that just seems to work out better to do it that way. So I'm gonna get up in the morning bright and early, come out here and dig some trenches, going to install the irrigation system. I think I've got pretty much everything I need. We're going to install an Irrigreen irrigation system. Okay, it's a digital irrigation system that kind of mimics a 3D printer. The concept of the Irrigreen irrigation system is kind of the same way. You program a shape into your phone, into the app that comes with the system, and you get everything wired up, get your heads installed, and you can tell the irrigation head the shape to spray the water. So here's a good example. Let's say you got a square yard, a little tiny box, 2,000 square foot square yard, for example. Well, you could put a head in each corner and they would overlap, and you would get a whole lot of coverage in certain areas and not as much coverage in the others. You could put one rotor right in the middle and it spray a complete circle. But then with it being a square, you're actually going to have to throw beyond the square to catch the outer corners of that square. When you do that, you're going to be throwing water, up against the house, the road, the beds, whatever, wasting water. I want you to imagine if you took a head and put it right in the middle of that square, and the head will actually spray water out in the shape of a square. So as the head is rotating, it adjusts the pressure inward and outward to go out and catch the corner, and then as it comes back down, it dials back the pressure and straightens up, and then adds pressure to it to go out and get the corner. And you program it all that on your phone, and you literally draw out a shape on your phone, on the app, and then hit enter, and the head will spray that pattern that you draw out. So if you've got shapes like this in your yard, like a triangle, it will actually spray and follow the shape of the triangle. That's pretty daggone cool, right? And obviously, you'll get to look out here and watch the thing work and perform all year long. I'm gonna show you and teach you all about it. So a minute ago, I said I'm gonna put in two systems, and one's kind of somewhat of a temporary system. And of course, the Irrigreen is gonna be my permanent system, Once I get the turf up and running and established, I will absolutely start using that and use that all the time. Now, one of the things about the Irrigreen system is it has a very, very unique nozzle, and the top holes in the nozzle throw a further distance and they're a bigger hole. The bottom holes in the nozzle throw a shorter distance right around the head. Well, the problem here, and it's actually my only complaint about the system, is those holes on the bottom of the nozzle and that throw close to the head. They have a pretty good amount of pressure. So in bare dirt situation, it may possibly push the seed out away from the head. Okay, you follow me? You know, a traditional nozzle like in a rainbird or something like that, it actually kind of has a fine mist that sprays out close to the head. The Irrigreen's a little bit different, and they went on and told me, hey, since you're doing bare dirt, you know, you might want to put some straw around the heads or something to make sure it doesn't push the grass seed out. But y'all know me, I'm not using straw, period. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use any netting. The only thing I would possibly use out here would be peat moss, and I'm not going to peat moss this entire area. You can forget it. So what I did elect to do is install what I'm calling a temporary system. I've got 3 Rainbird Falcons right along the edge of the road, and those will be the heads that I use to water in the seed and get it established, because the spray pattern is just a little bit different than the Irrigreen and it won't push the seed out. Now, something else I did do is remember we already had an irrigation, underground irrigation right here. Okay, it was pre-existing, it was already here, so I'm not going to tear it up, I'm going to leave it. And then you also know on the back side of the building, that was also pre-existing irrigation, I'm going to leave it. So between this, behind the building, and the 3 new heads I put in out by the road, I can pretty much cover this entire area. Might be a few dry spots here and there, but I can hand water those. And again, the only reason I'm doing this is I'm on bare dirt situation, and I don't want these heads to push my seed out away from the heads. That's the absolute only reason. Will I ever use this temporary irrigation system again? Probably not. Once I get the grass up, once I start mowing it, then it'll just stay there. It'll be there, and I'll start using the Irrigreen system all by itself, and that's all I'll use. So I'm gonna go in and eat some supper. I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. How you doing?
I bet this grass will look better than my house in 2 weeks.
I hope it looks good. It's a lot of work for it not to. All right, so it is absolutely brutal out here. I mean, insanely hot. I think it's reading around 93.4. Temperature-wise, the heat index is, I haven't looked at it, but it's got to be well over 100. So I had to go and take a break. Yeah, I've been taking breaks and drinking lots of water. And actually, I'm on my third shirt of the day. I went in and actually took a shower, took a ice cold shower and cooled down. Sat in there and ate some grapes and apples for lunch. So get a little refresher and I'm back at it. So this is, it looks complicated, but it's basic, simple plumbing. I've got a main line that comes off the well. And that's this line right here. This main one, the straight one. This right here is going to be for my Irrigreen system. It's recommended that you put one valve in so you can actually depressurize the line when it's not in use. And then this one over here is the valve going to my, my kind of temporary falcon rotors out there, rainbird falcon rotors out there. And so you can see it comes down the main line and it can open on this valve and feed the Irrigreen, or that can be cut off through the controller, and then this one can be opened. All right, this one over here that shoots off, that's just so I can plug my water hose up right here is all that is, and got me a little on-off valve right there. Now back here, the reason for this contraption right here is very simple. You know my booster pump? I'm hard plumbing it into the irrigation system. Okay, so this is the main line, right? Well, this is a main line too that comes in, goes up, connects to the booster pump, and then this one comes out of the booster pump and comes back into the main line. So this way, when I want to use the booster pump, I simply cut that one off like so, and then the water reroutes, goes up through the pump, comes back out, and can feed both valves or my garden hose hookup. And you can see here where it comes up inside my building. I wanted to keep the pump out of the weather because it's going to be hooked up all the time. So I just need to run me some flex tubing from here to the suction, and then from the discharge to here. And then I've got valves here as well, so I can just cut those valves off if I just don't want to use the booster pump, because that's something I may, I'm not going to use it constantly all the time, but I do have a need for it on occasion, and it'll be there if I need it. So for my valve boxes, I like a little rock in the bottom of them, so I'll kind of dump some out. Dump too much right there. And that one. Oh man, I'm telling you, even with nice equipment, this has been the most brutal renovation I think I've ever done, ever. It has been blistering hot. Like it burns your skin when you're outside so long. All right, so this right here is insane. I mean, absolutely insane. You add a point. Oh my gosh, this is sick. And the thing turns to where you point it to, and then you can increase it a little bit or decrease it. Watch it come down here to me. It's like playing a video game. That's ridiculous. I ain't never seen nothing like this. I'm literally spraying a square. Literally. I've boxed it off down, straight across, and straight up, and then it will follow the edge of the road, so no more water in the road. You can really fine tune it, make it hit right on the road. I ain't never seen nothing like that, ever. Of course, there's some fine tuned detail you need to get on, just with the app. But look at this. It's spraying a square. You see that 90-degree turn it just made? And it's spraying a straight line down through here. And then this next head over here will actually spray up to this straight line and follow it out. So everything's gonna be like spraying in squares out here instead of circles, which is, I can't get over this thing, man. So there's no overlap. I mean, of course, there'll be just a very, very minor bit right here, but you know, traditional systems that spray in rotors and, you know, 180-degree patterns, there's so much overlap. But this is just very unique and very different. And, you know, they give me some estimate that it was going to save me like 100,000 gallons of water a year or some kind of crazy number. So I had to try it. You know what I'm saying? And watch, you got to see how I do this. Hit the plus button and you just drag it over and then look at it. It turns all by the phone. Don't worry, those are super waterproof connectors right there, but you watch it turn every time I put a point in. Look at that. Look at that. See, when it's spraying too far, then you just tap the button a little bit and back it up right to the edge of the road, or maybe a little bit before the edge of the road, because it's going to get some splatter. And look at that. That's right where the previous head was hitting. That needs a little bit more gas. See, this one's maxed out, so it won't throw no further, but that one over there will. So I need to make that one throw just a touch further. You can kind of see it gives you the actual shape. That's kind of what it looks like, and you can move any of those and create any shape you want to make. Of course, I can tell now this thing is so incredibly accurate that you're really gonna have to fine tune it and play around with it a little bit to get it, you know, dialed in exactly right. See, that's throwing a little bit short, so I just have to go back and add a little bit more distance to it. That's crazy though. Look at that. As it gets further away from the head, it's throwing more water to keep up with the shape. All right, so I'm gonna make sure the rest of the heads are spraying and working. Again, I'm probably not gonna get them set up right now because I'm gonna use the other little makeshift system to get the seed going. I don't know if you can see, but those bottom nozzle holes, they do spray pretty hard, so I don't want it pushing the seed out. So I'm gonna rough it for the first 2 weeks while I grow this in, and then I'll get it all switched over to nothing but the Irrigreen, and that'll be the main system moving forward after that. While it's cool, I'm gonna come out here and go ahead and get all my wires and stuff tamped down in the ditches and make sure everything's cleaned up. And I'm gonna come out here first thing in the morning, gonna cover the ditches up, go ahead and kind of re-slick it down and get it good and smooth and ready for grass seed. And then probably tomorrow midday or something, I will be putting down the Blue Heat Kentucky Bluegrass, and that'll be a totally different video. And then another thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take some of this footage and make a little condensed video of how to put the Irrigreen system in, because it is incredibly easy. I mean, incredibly easy. So, and of course, you know, any irrigation work is hard, tough manual labor. You've seen me sweating like a dog and hurting, but compared to a traditional system, it is light years beyond that and so much easier. I mean, there's one main pipe that goes around the entire area, and then I simply tee off that pipe and stick a head, and then it's one wire that goes all the way around and connects all the heads in a total loop circuit type thing. And it's crazy. I can tell that one head what I want it to do, and it'll listen to me. So I think that's really cool. So as always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. I'm very tired, and I'm going to find another gear right now and lay these wires in the ditches and get everything cleaned up so I can come out here and hop on the machine in the morning and go and fill the ditches in and be done with it. Check you later. It's so hot here they're mowing at night.